In that race, Mr. Stroud and another council incumbent ran unopposed, while the mayor, Randall S. Mills, handily defeated a black challenger in 2009, pleaded guilty to a felony charge of theft by conversion. Vince Evans, a 14-year-old council veteran, said the city was full of black residents who would make great council members. But few, he said, chose to run, and I don't know why. One theory is that many new black residents are working-class people who do not have the means or the time to run for office and serve on the council. Members are paid $75 per month. White-collar professionals currently dominate. Particularly among the poor, there's also a strain of fatalism. This is the white man's land, said Vic Major, 22, who was on a run-down side of the street on a recent afternoon with a pit bull straining on a nearby chain. It is unnecessary to put that. We stay out of everything. But experts see institutional issues as well as personal ones. Professor Traunstein and Zoltan L. Hajnal, a professor of political science at the University of California, San Diego, who has written extensively about minority underrepresentation in politics, argue that moving local elections to even years to coincide with federal elections would help increase overall turnout and increase representation of minorities on local governing bodies. So when I said that they changed the Board of Elections to you earlier to try to get more people out, they assumed more people would come out on Election Day here and in our community. Back in Rockdale County, one of which Conyers is a part, county-wide elections are held in even years and offer a compelling contrast with city politics. The county underwent a demographic shift similar to the cities, with its share of black residents jumping from 18% to 46% between 2000 and 2010. The first black commissioner in the county's history was elected in 2008, and most likely benefiting from the black turnout, produced by Barack Obama's first presidential bid. In 2012, an all-black slate of 8 candidates, all of them Democrats, running against white Republicans, won most of the elected positions in county government. Before the election, a door hanger was distributed with their faces prominently displayed, as well as a message, "Support our president, elect Rockdale Democrats on November 6th." One of the black commissioners, Oz Nesbitt Sr., recalled that the 2008 election, a number of black residents tried to discourage him from running. They said, "Why are you doing this? You won't win. They won't vote for you. They won't allow an African American to be commissioner of this county," he said. Eventually, Mr. Nesbitt said, a coalition of blacks and progressive-minded whites rallied around his candidacy. In some quarters, however, whites openly worried about the ability of blacks to run things. After the 2012 election, Johnny Brown, a county board of elections member appointed by a local Republican party, posted an online editorial comparing county government to a little white plane that took on more black paint over time and eventually crashed. Professor Hajnal recommends changes in addition to even-year elections, adding partisan labels so voters have a better idea where candidates stand, having all council seats up for election at the same time rather than staggering them across 2 contests so elections are more meaningful, and electing each council member by district instead of citywide. An advisory panel convened by Georgia's Secretary of State found in 2012 that local elections would have greater overall voter turnout if moved to an even-numbered years, but warned that national races would overshadow the local ones. Conyers officials have not considered changing the city's election dates, Spann said. Council members are nonpartisan and elected by the district. Mr. Stroud, the black Conyers City Council member, said that no matter who is in office, some changes like diversifying city staff could be slow going. Currently, 21 of the city's 170 employees are black. But Stroud said that the officials were not about to fire competent white workers just to get new black ones. Diversifying the 60-officer police force has also been a slow process. Chief Gene Wilson said that despite overt efforts to recruit minority officers, he had been able to bring he had been able to bring the number of black officers up to only 8 from 3 in 5 years of office. Chief Wilson said it was hard to find good recruits, since qualified minority officers were in short supply and demand in so many other municipalities. For now, a desire among blacks for more diversity in government has not been matched by its efforts to achieve it. In his modest rented townhouse recently, Peter Vanderpool, 61, a Trinidad native of African descent, said that diversity could not happen without black participation in government affairs. We've got a... Let me try to do it. Will you read that since it's, in your...
We've got a lot of young brothers out here, and they choose not to be in the police service, he said.
Mr. Vanderpool also said that he did not vote in the city elections. To be very honest with you, he said, I don't know why. I never paid any attention, really.
Wow. That sounds like South Orange Maplewood to me.
Well, we're not the majority of people here, so there's one difference.
But it seemed like if...
it's the same situation.
The same situation, where that we have, look, here is a gentleman, from my homeland, Trinidad.
Oh, God.
And he's saying that, I never paid any attention. And I tell you, I pay attention to all these things.
Yeah, so the question is how... so here we have... People say it's an issue because they don't get involved because to serve on city council, you're not getting paid.
Yeah, I think that is an issue.
So because we're saying that now, you're saying that. So those people who are on city council, obviously, or even the people who are, I guess, what you consider a mayor in this town, you have to have the money because there's no pay, right? Mm-hmm. These people don't get paid. So you have to have the money or means to support yourself and the time available.
Well, that's the thing, too. If you're not a boss in your job, in order to get the time.
You have some investment somewhere, yep.
Yeah, because you got to get the time in order to do the job. So if you are not, in management, where you can take the time to do it, then, but I think that's an excuse, though.
Well, it's an excuse. It's a reality, and it's an excuse. For example, like in towns like this, where you have organizations or even PTAs and stuff like that, and you have boards and committees, what time are those meetings held?
After work hours.
No, a lot of these meetings are held in the morning.
No, not the PTA meetings.
From what I've been told, a lot of meetings, not just PTA meetings, but other kinds of meetings, are held in the morning or in the day.
I think
and
some
board
meetings
people, you have to be available to go to these board meetings.
Yeah, but board meetings are held in the evening. We went through Maplewood. I'm sure we did Maplewood. We looked at the boards in Maplewood, didn't we?
Yeah, so we can look at why. You can look that up. But,
yeah.
If you look at that, so how does a person serve when there's the time, if you're a working person, but you are concerned about your local government? How on earth are you going to find the time to serve on any of these boards? And as we were looking the other day, there were 8, 9, maybe 10 different boards to serve on.
Mm-hmm.
The council people must have some kind of money because considering all the board meetings and committees that they're serving on and meetings they have to attend. Mm-hmm. They must have, obviously, the free time to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, even though people cite that their interactions and frustrations with the police and their interactions are not pleasant, but then how much diversity is in the police department. This is interesting because you and I were having the same discussion yesterday. Mm-hmm. They say that people who are renting property are less likely to be involved in politics because, they're relatively transient people. But people can be renting for a very long time.
Like in Maplewood, the Board of Adjustment meets the first Monday at 8 p.m. Okay, that's one of it. Well, we know the Board of Education. We don't have to get that one.
The Board of Education does have additional meetings that are not.
The Board of Health, 7:30 p.m. meetings are held during the first regular Township Committee meeting of each month.
Okay, so there's no excuse for that
one?
Well,
that's only the members. That's the members of the Township Committee. Okay. India Laria, Victor DeLuca, Kathy Leventhal, Gerard Ryan, and Marlon Brownlee. So that's basically the township people. Bergdorf Board of Trustees. Let me see who that's on the Bergdorf Board of Trustees. Again, that's Victor Luca, Jerry Ryan, Joseph Manning, Glynis Bergdorf. Can't get on that board. Economic Development Committee. What time does this one meet? This one meets the third Thursday of every month at 8 a.m. Yeah, you're right. That one is at 8 a.m. But that has the mayor, deputy mayor, committeeman, township administrator, Maplewood Planning Board chair, municipal attorney, and director of community relations. That seemed to be all Maplewood employees. But still, the mayor have the Green Team Advisory Committee. Kathy Leventhal, Tracy Woods, Fred Perfetta, Sheila Baker, Goodrow, Bill Steinbrunn. They don't have a time for this committee. So the next one is the Historic Preservation Commission. Okay, they sent me to another site. Not that one. Library Board. They don't have a time for that one. So it seemed like if
these are, yeah, but even like on the boards of nonprofit entities or foundations in the community, a lot of boards and organizations do meet in the morning.
Well, they could change that, man.
Well,
if they need people to get involved, they can basically.
The luxury.
Well, the planning board meets at 8 p.m. the second Tuesday of the month.
Okay. Now, even with the Board of Education, even though those are the meetings that are posted, the members of the Board of Education are meeting more often than that.
The Recreation Advisory Committee meets at 7 p.m. third Wednesday of each month.
So you're saying that time is not an excuse in the case of Maplewood South or Maplewood.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like if you can use time as an excuse.
Now, so here are a couple of items, that, I think are interesting about this. Do you think that...
Zoning board meets at 8 p.m. the first Monday of each month.
Okay. Now, do you think that the home ownership level is, an indication of how involved people are going to be in their community? So if you don't own your home and you're just renting it, so you haven't, sunk your roots.
You don't have
down.
a stake in the community.
You don't have a stake in the community.
I think that could be a.
That could be a thought, but you are still impacted by the community. If your kids are going there, if the police are stopping you.
You know what? But. Think about it. Because if you renting, you busy working, man. You busy trying to make ends meet. You been trying to put food on the table. You busy trying to keep gas in that car.
But you're assuming that everybody wants to own a home, though.
Of course, most people do.
How do we know that?
Most people do.
Because that's the American dream.
Of course. Everybody can't, but most people do. Most people want to own a home, right? But to me, is that if you renting, there's a lot of reasons why you renting. And those reasons are going to cause you to budget your time. And if I'm going to budget my time, the little time that I got, I'm not going to go sitting on a board and I ain't getting paid. However, if they say to me, man, I'm paying you $500 a month and my rent is $1,000, I'm not looking and saying that, wow, man, that's 50% of my rent. I could find that time.
Yes, but you know what? I don't know. It's got to be more to it than money. It's also an idea of a civic duty.
Listen, when I'm renting, I ain't worrying about no civic duty. I'm renting.
Okay.
I don't have a stake in the community. That's why I'm renting. However,